The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, I'm Judy Von Esch. I'm running this. How are y'all doing? Here are my players. Spotter, take it away. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Antera and I'll be playing Spotter the Nosferatu.
And I am on McStabber and I'll be playing Dr. Taylor Hammond of Clan Bruja.
I'm Reen. I'll be playing Kajak of Clan La Sombra.
Hello, I'm John Lee Bayar. I will be playing Dr. Magnus Sanchez of Clan Gangrel.
And hi, I'm Maddox, and I'll be playing Dr. Theodore Smith, Clan Tremere.
It's an hour before sunset. And of course, all of our wonderful empires are taking advantage of that. I don't know if sex is involved, but that's what Taylor said.
I mean, it's their choice, but they're missing out.
Not wrong.
Boring. Yawn.
And sorry, I had to fix my sock. Anyhow, while they're waking up to start their evening, and Misty, ironically enough, due to her humanity, is allowing her to wake up, but she doesn't get to be up right as Taylor is waking
She's
up.
She's easier to rouse before sunset, but Taylor just lets her sleep.
Which she appreciates at times, because sometimes it's just like, oh my God, seriously. Mm-hmm. You hear a gentle, it's not a big banging, but it's a nice kind of fist pumping at the back door.
Back door?
Back door? Front door?
Front door.
Okay.
Because back door shouldn't be able to get into.
Yeah, that's fair. Judy's kind of just figuring this all out as we're going through this.
Okay, so she goes, looks to Lena and says, "Who is it?"
Let me find out for you. And she'll go to the door because she's working on stuff. Are you expecting a small, short person in a cloak?
No.
Tail wagging underneath said short cloak?
Yeah, let them in.
Door will unlock, and in comes a very quiet, with a little jingling of it, just head peeping in, barely body coming in. Do you have a moment?
I do.
Can you go down? Taylor, do you live in an apartment or are you in a home?
No, it's a home.
Fair enough. She'll go, can you go down into your basement? Do you have a storm door or doors? I didn't really get to check your whole house. I'm so sorry. I have a package. It's a big package.
Okay. I
mean, I would drag it here. I don't know if you... I don't know how you feel about body bags.
Oh. Meet you down in the basement.
Thank you. Scurries off.
And I will go down to the basement.
It's simple. It's a nice little... She's waiting there until when you open the door. Mm-hmm. It is a full-on cadaver bag. I can't say
Cadaver
words
bag.
anymore. Cadaver bag. Thank you.
Mhm.
And you see this small little Nosferatu whoop over her shoulder as she carries it down. She'll go, it was the easiest way to transport. Everything's good. We just have to wait for the sun to set down. And I'm sure it's
And
going to do
Taylor's just
soon.
looking at her like, what are you doing up?
I wake up early. I like waking up early. It's a good thing. And she kind of just lugs it down.
Yeah. Who is it?
She's your friend.
And actually, Taylor will take the Nosferatu into her room, which is down in the basement, and actually say, put him on the bed.
Okay. Shoop. Walks over. Thunk. And she will unzip. And you see Mark laying there quiet and composed because unfortunately he can't wake up this early.
No, he can't. Does he look intact?
He does look intact. He looks slightly worse for wear. He has sustained several injuries. He is at least alive, at least what you can tell, but he is rocking several agate damage. But you can see that he has healed some of it. Clothes you see is fresh. There's no blood, and it looks like Bells has taken care of him.
That's who this is? This is Bells?
This is Bells.
Okay, just double checking.
Absolutely. Some things we just kind of take for granted. And he's got a fresh new outfit on. Not exactly a suit, but, relaxed visual casual wear. Because she doesn't know and understand Bruja fashion.
That's fine. And
She'll go, it was easy. He came to us last night, like just before sunset. I took him from East Chicago here.
yeah,
He said for me to take it to you.
okay,
Period. He hasn't seen anyone yet.
okay. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. I'm happy to help.
I will take it from here, but thank you, Bells.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And she'll start zipping up the thing and go, right. Oh, here. And she'll go into her little knapsack and hand you what looks like a leather-bound journal. He almost dropped that, so I made sure that stayed with him.
Okay, perfect.
He was scribbling and writing and everything like that, trying to get everything down before he passed out. Okay, I'm going to go.
Okay.
And she'll pick it up and hop off and just scurry on away.
Taylor will remove the bag from Mark so he doesn't wake up in a body bag.
He'll appreciate that,
And just allow him to lay there on her bed for the next, 45 minutes or so. And she's not going to read the journal.
Okay.
She will respect his privacy. However, what she is going to do is she's going to send a text to Magnus. You up?
Let me roll a die.
And literally, this is not a booty call. Okay.
We're still in the aughts, in the odd years, so that phrase hasn't come into fashion
You
just
up?
yet.
Oh, Taylor made it into fashion. Okay.
In
Yeah,
siren
he's up.
predator type bull crap.
Okay, so if he responds that he's up, she's gonna be like, need you at my place. I know you were planning to come over later to pick up Misty, but I've got a problem and I need your help specifically.
Okay. I'm going to have to talk to Junie about what situation he was in when you called, when you
Okay.
texted that, but he's headed over.
Okay.
So
It doesn't take long, really, for Magnus. He knows where Taylor does know where Magnus does know where Taylor lives, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. She would have made sure he's aware of that for picking up Misty. So.
Yeah. And it doesn't take long for you to get there.
Yeah,
And
she's
as
on
soon-
the she's in the north side. So
Magnus is pretty centrally located, so he can get to any part of Chicago pretty quickly.
yeah.
And it doesn't take long until Magnus, you've arrived.
Yeah, and Lena will probably bring you down to Taylor's room downstairs. And you see Mark as it's just before sunset. And she says, he went to scope out Maxwell for information. Vanguard.
Well, at least he's alive.
Yeah. He looks pretty rough, though. Think you can help him out?
You're looking at about 3 to 4 egg right now.
Oh, 3 to 4 egg. Okay.
You know,
Well, this counts as a
walk in
cadaver,
the park.
especially since he's still asleep.
Not wrong.
Let's see. Int plus medicine, right?
Yep. Sounds good.
Okay. And Serge passed. So
Yes, remember to search, everyone. Please and thank you.
3 dice. See what we can do with this.
Make a pizza.
Gonna willpower this just cause I can't resist to. Yes, there we go.
Crit fishing.
Yes, I can't resist crit fishing. 1, 2, 3,
Valid.
4, 5, 6 plus 4. That is a 10 crit.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, as
He's a
Taylor, as you
doctor.
watch,
He's built for this.
this is true. Taylor, as you watch him patch things up, you're seeing him literally almost erase every injury he's had.
She looks to him and says, thanks. Misty hasn't arose yet. I don't wake her. She can wake early. She's still connected enough to what she was. But I let her sleep in when possible.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. Well, let me give you the tour while we're waiting for folks to rouse. And so Taylor will take them on a tour of the place and show them, the public areas and such, and also her library. And we'll take them out to the garden since we can be out before sunset.
Yeah.
You guys had a conversation before then in the garden?
Sure. So I planned on tonight telling both you and Misty things I know, because she's been asking questions all week. But well, fuck it. If Mark wants to hear it, he can hear it too.
I mean, does he know about that side of you?
No.
Well. Understood.
Either he will be okay with it or he'll run for the hills. We'll see. So
I mean, he's a Bruja. There's always one other option that he might take.
might lose his shit too. And then that'll be fun. But yeah.
Well, hands that put someone back together also knows how to take them apart.
Very true. Very true. I had a doctor as a companion for most of my life. Very true. And as we are just chatting and killing the few minutes before they rouse, you actually see in her garden a variety of the blooming flowers. As the sun sets, they actually open up and bloom.
Magnus will actually take the time to literally walk around and smell the flowers. Because this is something that he does not get to do very often, because at night, most flowers close up.
Yeah,
And
Taylor
so
truly
can't
has
really
a
smell
night
them.
garden.
So
Most of her flowering plants are night blooming plants, so they actually open up at nighttime and close again at sunrise. And then she'll say, well, I believe the others should be rousing, so.
all right. Should probably go let Mark know he's safe.
Yes. But you see now why I come out and enjoy this space.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I've done a lot of work in it. And she goes in and she directs Magnus to where Misty is so he can greet her, and then she'll go down to Mark.
Yep.
The alarm for Misty's phone just starts blaring corn. So,
Freak on a leash.
between that and, get the fuck up. All of a sudden it's like, and as corn starts to play and Taylor goes down the stairs. You just hear this, oh God, and this whole thing of French Canadian go on. Junie can't say French Canadian, so we're just gonna let the string of French Canadian, go on. And he'll just slowly rock up, putting his hand to his head and starting to look around.
And Taylor walks in and says in French, "You're not as worse for wear as you were when you arrived here."
And he'll start looking at himself like, what the Tell me she took the leather jacket to the dry clean. What am I wearing? What?
That's courtesy of Belle's.
I just told her to bring me to you, not to reassemble me.
She didn't reassemble. She just redressed you.
I mean, I don't mind having blood-soaked clothes on, but who wears Oxford cuffs anymore?
Probably Theodore.
Did he ever get that steel thing out of his ass?
He's working on it. It's a slow process.
Okay, but he wears Oxford cuffs. He just starts to open up the shirt to take it off. He's wearing, it looks like a undershirt underneath. And well, you can just give this to Theo.
She takes it and she says, "Actually, I called over Magnus so that he could take care of you."
Oh, so that's why I'm not trying to beg for my life and in horrible pain. Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. How are you?
Good. Your journal is
good.
there on the bedside table. I have not taken a look.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I appreciate it. Hi, my brain is still scrambled.
Understood.
You're real,
Do you
right?
need? Yes, I'm real. Do you need something to eat?
Yes, but not now. I need to get information to you. You need to know shit. Apparently, Bells was trying to grill me yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, I don't have the time nor the brain capacity. Just take me to you, and I'll tell everyone everything. I ran into the Vanguard. Assholes of the nth degree. Do you know what fucking Ventru bitch decided to send that to Maxwell?
Who?
Oh, shit. Sorry, I had to fix my glasses because they're crazy. Eleanor Kingston.
Okay, out of character. Taylor should probably know that name, but Relin does not.
Eleanor Kingston was a up-and-coming Ventru in Chicago just before Loden decided to crap it. He'll look at you and go, yeah, she gave the Vanguard to Maxwell back in 96 because she obtained him in 93. And you'll never know who fucking gave him to her. Take a big guess.
Who?
Your best buddy.
That could be a number of individuals. Who?
Parlak.
Why did he do that?
She asked for permission for a coterie of devout Camarilla. Wanted them all Ventru or close enough. Because she was afraid that what happened to Loden could happen to the next prince. Better to prince to have a bodyguard if they couldn't get Maxwell back on the fucking throne. Yeah, I know.
So they were working together trying to get Maxwell back on the throne.
Back in 93. He refused to leave Gary because he thought he could make that a paradise.
See how that turned out.
I can tell you how that turned out. Several barons and Anita trying to fight for power. His cronies are still running Gary into the ground. And when we went to go meet with the cam in charge, these assholes showed up, mowed people down. I mean, it was pretty much a war. The Vanguard also tipped the other Vanguard, as in 2-Eye, to come in with the police. Of course, I went underground, bringing everyone we could with us. So, one, there wasn't a Masquerade breach, but two, there were some really good people in that.
Is Evelyn all
talk.
right?
I'm sorry?
Is Evelyn all right?
She's pulling in.
Good.
She might have to grow a leg. We were down, tried to get out. I believe your friend would have told me earlier, which I should have asked him prior to going down there, about the sewers.
Yeah, they're not connected.
Yeah, we found that one out. So I will suggest you now never to swim in the lake.
Wasn't planning on it, but thanks.
There's a lot of crazy shit in that place. And since we don't really swim, it took us a bit of time to get over to Chicago.
Yeah.
And all I have to say is whoever fucking bought that whole expansion part of where the Warrens used to be and expanded it out fucking saved our lives. Okay, so you know where River Calumet comes in? Where the old Nosferatu Warrens are?
Mm-hmm.
That got expanded. So as we hit the shore, there's Nosferatu already there, helping us out. And then Miss Little Jingles, wherever she jingled off to.
She left. She dropped you off and left.
Yeah. She came in and she pointed me out right away. And I managed to get a couple of people on the shore and I just said, I need to see Dr. Taylor. And she went, oh, I know who he is or she is. And then she jumps up, grabs my hand, whisks me into a hearse. And then we find a place. I get loaded onto some kind of bag thing. Thank you for not making me wake up into that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. And then she said, go to sleep. And then she just put a sticky pad on my head and I passed out. I wasn't going to question. I did not expect the Ralph Lauren couture, but here we are. And I knew for a fact I had to leave you a message because I didn't want you worrying. Plus, I wanted to remind Maxwell of who he's dealing with. So how are you?
Better.
Can I get a hug?
She will.
He will give her a big hug and say, look, and I know this isn't really romantic and I understand this is horrible timing.
And she just says, you came back.
I wasn't going to check out just after the first date.
And she just backs up and smiles.
Hey, that's really shitty of me if I did that. Give you a great date and then say, peace out, I'm out. Nah, I'm not that kind of guy. Damn. That's just being crappy. And that's just bad writing. At least making you smile again is worth it.
All right.
I'll tell you what. I got more for you.
What you got?
I don't know if you know who Eric Thorpe is, and he'll reach out and grab his notebook, open it up, and he'll scroll to a page and go, Eric Thorpe, I don't know. Fucking American names. Tharpe. Apparently he was Eleanor's Gruel and Alan Sovereign's. Alan was too tough, but apparently Eleanor embraced him before she died. And she died, I think, like last year. And so Eric couldn't cut it here in Chicago. So he went to Maxwell and brought the Vanguard with him. How about that for a piece of cheddar cheese info? Alan was too tough. their standards of venture are slipping greatly.
Who you telling?
I mean,
Well, then.
I laughed.
Yeah.
He's trying to goat me out of the sewers, saying that he could try and make this all go away. If Alan's too tough for you, what do you think I could do? The only reason why I didn't do it is because, one, I'm not stupid. Two, I'm not going to be able to be gloated out of hiding. And three, that was 2-Eye with him. The fuck am I going to do with that?
2-Eye was with him?
2-Eye was with him. Now, I don't know if they're in cahoots or if it was he looks too human to not be noticed by the 2-Eye, but they were together. Yeah. Now you see why it took me some time. And I apologize for making you wait.
Don't you dare.
Yeah, I have to take some kind of credit. Breathe. Or try to. It's okay.
When I remember to. Wow. Okay.
A lot to take in, I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's just, it's a lot to disseminate to my crew.
And why is Anthrax playing 2 floors up?
Oh. Magnus's adoptive child, who is actually his broodmate, his sire's a piece of work.
It's Gangrel. What did you expect?
Exactly. She's been in residence this week. There's a story there, but
Care to tell or too much?
let's just say trying to keep her in various locations due to those who might be interested in hunting her. And we're not talking 2-Eye.
Who?
Certain lupines with strange markings.
As if we don't have enough already on our plate.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm just doing my part to keep her location varied and erratic. So
Do you
she's
need our
harder
help?
to find. No, we're good right now, but I'll let you know.
Okay, well, she's got great music choices. I'm sorry, I can hear from here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm happy to entertain you as long as need be. If you would like to come up, I do have to have a conversation with Misty and Magnus. I don't mind if you are there for it, or if you need to take care of your personal needs, you can do that.
Sure, you know what? I need a moment, so can I just vibe and listen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. I appreciate it.
And she will take her leave.
Well, he'll follow her, of course, and just be kind of like quietly with an undershirt on because fuck Oxford buttons. And and while they're having their conversation, she wakes up, she throws on some clothes, puts her hair in this messy bun. Where are you, Magnus?
Magnus just like knocked on the door and made sure she was awake, and then was like, okay, well, when you come out, like, Taylor wants to have a talk with us at some point.
Morning. Hi.
Yeah. Good evening.
You don't take a morning first?
No, because it's night.
Listen,
It's like
I understand
we refer to modern days instead of modern nights instead of modern days.
I mean, comme ci, comme ça.
Look, I mean, if you decide to follow certain paths, you might get daytime back, but that's not something that's normal for us.
Ooh, how do you get daytime back? I miss the sun.
Well, that's part of the conversation Taylor's going to have.
Okay.
There are other ways too, but they have downsides.
I find that there's a lot of up and a lot of down. It's kind of like a slinky slide.
Yeah, that's kind of the life you have been brought into.
Why did I choose Candyland over something else? I mean, seriously. Or was it Ladders and Slides? That was another
Because
game.
your other choice was Paranoia?
I already have that.
No, I'm saying the game.
Oh, I haven't played it yet. Is it good?
Oh, well, yeah, it's pretty fun. Question runs a good game of it.
Hey, can we do board games one night with all the coterie?
We'll see if we can talk them into it. I know some of them would be down. Others might not be. But
all we have to do is promise Kajai a lot of mayhem, death, and fighting.
So you're wanting to play Eldritch Horror then?
I mean, who doesn't like a good Call of Cthulhu game?
Anyway, no, I was referring to, your family. The situation you got out of. If this is Candyland, they were Paranoia.
Fair. That's fair. Okay. Yeah. Let's go down. I want to give Auntie Taylor a hug.
Okay.
And she'll just skip on down. And when Taylor comes in, she comes downstairs and Taylor comes in the room. It's just that immediate hug. Morning.
Taylor hugs her. Good morning, dear.
And of course, you guys will see Mark behind her. And she'll be like, oh, God, that's a big dude.
Magnus just kind of gives a lazy,
He does it back and he says, thank you for the help. I appreciate it.
Of course.
All right.
She kind of like does the whole looking at Taylor, look at the big dude, like kind of giving her that silent, are you two together? Am I missing something?
And Taylor just kind of... and she says, come, let's go in the living room and sit.
Okay.
And she actually says, give me just one moment. There's a few things I need to grab from the library. And Taylor will go and grab a few records that she has and one of her journals, because her library is mostly filled with her journals, because a lot of the things that she has found, she has taken to Budapest. But she has some things that she's kept. So she basically comes back with a few things and sits down and says, all right, Magnus, you expressed some interest in hearing my perspectives. And Misty, you have been peppering me with questions all week, and I have begged your patience so that I don't have to repeat myself.
Sorry.
You're okay. Curious mind is a good thing.
Dad used to call me a rapid 2-year-old.
And Mark, you may learn something about me this evening that may flavor your perception of me.
Sure. And he'll move to sit down.
As I told you, Magnus, I am Bahari.
Mark just kind of goes like this, that word makes, that just made everything slightly understandable. He doesn't say anything bad about it. He doesn't say anything good.
She's not even looking at him.
Oh. No, that's valid.
She's not even looking at him. And she looks to Misty and says, that word may mean absolutely nothing to you. Exactly. I am amongst a group who believes that, yes, Cain was the first vampire. However, when he was first cursed by God for his crime of murder, he was outcast and wandered helpless. A woman took him in. Brought him in to her garden.
It's nice of him.
Mm-hmm. Provided for him, taught him, so that he could utilize the powers of being a vampire.
Okay.
And then he felt strong enough, finally, after his tutelage, to leave.
Did he say thank you?
In his way.
Okay, that doesn't sound good.
He formed the city. The first city. And created Childer.
Okay, this doesn't sound like it's going to end happy.
Nothing involving Kane ever ends happy. He's
Ew.
responsible for like 90% of what's wrong with the world.
Oh, we're talking about King?
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
Did you ever take a look at the Book of Nod notes that Beckett has?
She kind of just looks around.
Of course she did. That's why she has questions.
Maybe?
Yes. Well, needless to say, the Book of Nod is not totally inaccurate, but it minimizes and diminishes a lot of Lilith's impacts.
Lilith.
And it excuses a lot of Kane's bullshit, even though he is honest about the fact that he's to blame for pretty much the entirety of everyone who is a vampire's existence, because, you know, he had 3 chances to accept forgiveness and, you know, not be cursed, and went, no, fuck you. So
the garden that Lilith had brought Kane into was her second garden that she had created.
What was the first?
The first was something else entirely. The second was one where she and Lucifer lived together with their children.
Lucy's a thing?
Yes.
Oh my. I didn't think he was.
And I will tell you how he thanked her was by bringing the third generation, after they had rebelled against the second, to her garden. And they proceeded to annihilate her and Lucifer's children.
What a dick. I mean, dick's not even nice enough a word. Neither is asshole. What a douche.
That is the mythology. And it has been my unlife's work to find the truth in the stories.
Wait, isn't Kane still alive? Can't we just call him up?
Oh, I'm sure if we did, he'd probably tell me I'm absolutely correct. But he is a liar and a murderer. And because of what he did in Lilith's garden, she cursed him a second time. You see, by God, he was cursed to never be able to suffer daylight.
Okay, so that's why we can't go out in the sun.
Exactly. Lilith cursed him to find no respite in the night.
Is that why we're restless?
And so, Cain and all his descendants since have fought amongst each other, destroyed each other, and had no peace.
So that's why we're trying to kill each other. Well, that just sucks. I don't like this story. Can we change it? This is just bad writing.
Needless to say, things I have found, and she will produce, obviously in her handwriting, a transcription she has, such as this record. The progenitor of your clan, Anoia, was actually a child of Lilith, not of Lilith and Lucifer.
That's what, and she'll point to Magnus and back to look. That's what Mom said. That was the whole lineage bullshit thingy that she made me memorize.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, that is the Tiger Queen in this passage. The Spider King is Ravana, the progenitor of the Ravnos clan, who was also one of Lilith's children and Anoia's twin.
Didn't they have a fight?
Yes, they did. They were embraced. Lilith,
Ew.
the Dark Mother, Because these were children possibly of either her and Adam or her and Jehovah, God.
Oh, okay.
She was, I believe, for all intents, I believe she was a mage or the precursor to what mages are now. And she ascended to godhood.
So she became an archmage.
Yeah, or beyond that.
Ooh.
I believe she truly ascended and became equal to God. Based on everything I have researched. That's what I think she was. That is also an explanation for why Bahari is not just a vampire cult. It is a cult that spans mortals and mages.
So this isn't just one thing. It's a universal. It's kind of like more of like a universal truth.
Yeah. But go into different areas and any one of us is labeled heretic.
Let me guess. The bullshit papal, the bullshit papal paragraph. What's the words? I can't say. I'm just waking up.
Mm-hmm.
Patriarchy.
Yeah, exactly. Cain is a deceiver and a murderer. And all of his get are the same.
No offense, Magnus. Men are assholes. You're not. You are excluded.
You're not wrong.
And it was his church was created by descendants of Cain, descendants of La Sombra, to manipulate and control Cainites. And now it has turned into something where they actually see Cain as divine.
Yeah.
You cannot be divine when you have been cursed and had your divinity stripped from you.
Isn't that just counterintuitive?
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And I will tell you that their influence is spreading because the Sabbat is failing. They are trying to branch out into other sects.
Thus, partying around and making the religion more of a religion so they can do and dominate and control subversively.
Bingo.
Kind of things happened while I was alive, and you listen to Dad's phone calls enough, and you just kind of put two and two together for things. Okay, so they're like the mob. Got it.
Worse, they're like the Roman Catholic Church,
Which was run by the mob.
which was run by La Sombra until they lost control of it.
That's why you don't lose control. But then again, you shouldn't have control in the first place because it's belief.
Yeah. So I am happy to share this journal with you, Misty. It will answer more of your questions. This journal has some of my research into the things you have asked me about. Just return it when you're done.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Can I just like find a corner and like bury myself into this?
You can do that after you leave with Magnus.
Okay, cool. Because I really want to read it, please. And thank you.
Absolutely. If you have more questions, let me know.
Okay. Should I go pack my stuff?
You probably should.
Okay. And she'll give Taylor a big hug and jump up and go upstairs.
And she looks to Magnus and says, "Do you have questions?"
I mean, a number of them. Like, you said that Lilith was one of the first mages.
I believe that is what... To call her a mage is probably the wrong term. She was created as equal to Adam by God's hand. She was more than human.
So, one of my questions is related to that because my mother's side, I believe I've told you my mother was a changeling.
Yes.
She taught me what they believed, their mythology.
Of course.
One of which was that at one point there were 4 who descended from the stars. They call them Starborn. and those who are descended from them are the mages.
Lilith had many children. And she was, by mythology, impregnated by God.
Mm-hmm. I mean, God.
God.
But I'm just thinking, if you had Adam, Lilith, Jehovah, and Lucifer.
Yes, but Adam was deigned by having Eve to create humans that had that divine spark, but possibly, but I will tell you, it is the Bahari perspective of Eve is that she was a lesser being.
Mm-hmm.
She was made from Adam, not equal to him.
I mean, can't mages like do that if they're strong enough? Just like make a person?
Perhaps they can. Perhaps they can. Although, for all intents and purposes, from everything I've read up on the guy, Adam was a douchebag. But
I mean, all the mythologies paint pretty much everyone back then as douchebags.
fair. But yes. But no, it's there's a lot of overlap. There is overlap between some of the mage beliefs from creation. Now you're telling me there's overlap within Changeling. I have not had access to those prior to you.
Well, I do have the name of the ambassador, I guess she is, to give to you for Kevin, since he's wanting to make a
perfect
treaty.
Perfect. I may reach out to her if she's willing to speak with me to ask her some questions.
They tend to respect historians.
Excellent.
So,
excellent. Thank
historians have brought many bits of art and life and dreams back that were once thought lost. So,
yes. I will be mindful, though, my presence, even though I have rejected and renounced my descendancy of Cain, I still may affect them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I appreciate it.
So that leads to other questions, like what do the Bahari actually believe? Because I was raised among German Lutherans.
Oh, they
by a
believe in
mother
the
who taught me
reincarnation,
all
right? They believe in reincarnation, right?
I don't believe Lutherans do, but I could be wrong.
I think they do. It's in a way. It's the way they say it. It doesn't sound like reincarnation, but they kind of do.
Must have changed since almost 200 years ago.
Yeah.
When I was raised there. But also got raised in the belief of the dawn and the great tapestry of fate that...
I don't deny that likely the great fae existed. I'm sure they did. There are things that even I can't fathom that have been in this world, either of this world or of other worlds.
There are more things in heaven and on earth than are spoken of in your philosophies, Horatio.
Exactly. And not knowing is okay. I cannot ever presume to know everything. I can just hope to learn what I can.
The Star of the East doesn't know everything?
No.
My word.
But to answer your question, what do Bahari believe? Belief for Bahari is a multifaceted thing. It has shades and colors to it. It varies from garden to garden. As I told you before, there is no organizational structure like an organized religion. It doesn't follow Western Abrahamic belief structures. It is very much each garden worships, practices, and believes in their own way. And all of it is valid. Because the Dark Mother is more of an all-encompassing thing. So to tell you what the Bahari believe, I could not answer that, because you would get a different answer from every Bahari you speak with. I can tell you what I believe. I believe that she did exist. Do I have proof of it? No, because there is no proof if you go that far back. But I believe she did. And I believe she did teach Cain. And I believe her work got swept under the rug, like so many women throughout all of history. Myself included.
Yeah, but some of us still remember, and that's the important bit.
Yeah. Same with the Bahari. Some of us remember. And we honor it.
Not saying you wouldn't.
Exactly. But yes, there is, for my beliefs, I believe that there are many things that can teach us important lessons in our existence, but there are very few things that teach lessons as potently as pain does.
Yeah, pain's a huge teacher. I can tell you that one.
Pain
And
is good. It's your body's way of telling you you're still alive.
And no physical pain hurts as much as the pain of love.
But just for a moment on that one, because that's still brutally right there. He's like,
Magnus just like nods.
It taught me many lessons. Led me to the Bahari before I was even embraced. I am not a torturer. Some Bahari are. I am not a murderess. Some Bahari are. I am a teacher. I am a lover. And I am a shepherd. And I went through trials, tests, had to bear the sins of my progenitor, and come out on the other side of them. Have the scars to prove it. And because I survived it, I am now amongst the first cursed.
what do you mean?
I was able to truly renounce my descendancy of Cain, to not have the curse of no peace in the night, to be able to enjoy an hour of daylight in the evening and in the morning.
What?
Yeah. It is basically the Bahari version of Golconda.
Holy crap, that exists?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's how Magnus was able to come here and help you before you woke.
I just thought he was an amazing doctor.
I mean, I am that too.
He is able to do things similarly at times.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hi, I've just learned a lot of things in a short amount of time. Wow.
And now Taylor is looking directly at him.
He's looking directly at her. He hasn't stopped. He's not upset. He's not angry. He's not even scared at this point. He's taking in all of this information. And he's respecting her for it. And he'll just look to her and say, do you want this kept a secret?
I have kept it secret for a very long time.
All right.
Understand that there is quite a lot of apparent members of the Church of Cain in this city.
Do you want protection?
Now, let them come.
Wouldn't advise it, but I know you. Sort of, kind of, you know what I mean?
I do not fear them. I don't want it advertised.
All right, say less. That explains why the flowers. Got it. Sorry, things are now clicking in about different conversations I've had with certain people. Yeah, okay.
And then Taylor looks back to Magnus. Any other questions?
Would be involved in joining.
Well, first, you would be taught. And if you were deemed worthy, you would be tested. And if you survive the testing, then you would be reborn, as it were, as Bahari. Again, the practices vary from garden to garden. I was taken to one in North Africa. It was rather brutal. But the ones here, not so terrible. That is generally how it takes to join. You have to be taught. And if you learn well, then you are tested. And we go from there.
I guess my last question is there a garden in the city you think would be a good fit for me? Knowing what you know of me.
Knowing what I know of you, for your induction, possibly. But for your dedication, perhaps at a later time. As I've told you, I've thought of creating my own. I do see a gap here. And I think I could fill it.
I think I'll probably wait on that then.
Understood. I am not rushing anything. I don't ever want anyone going into this blindly, because it is honestly soul-changing. But now you see why I have been so good at recruiting.
I always knew you were persuasive, Dr. Hammond.
And I wasn't even really trying, I'm just being honest.
As this conversation keeps going, Kajai, you've been summoned to Elysium to see the prince. It happens to be a very lively night. A lot of people here talking, just conversing, having fun. Maybe there's some wheels and deals, but a standard night nonetheless. Cordelia waits for you at the door.
He will have his ghoul circle the block. He's trained her how to do that without arousing suspicion. He will leave his weapons behind, all of them. It's a difficult decision.
Yes, it is. Yes,
but-
it is. Very much so.
Because I will get out of the car and go over to Cordelia. Good evening.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good so far, though.
Are we
I hope that will
clean?
continue. I am. I did not do anything difficult tonight.
Oh, okay. So it's all depending on how it is in when you wake up and how you come here, huh?
More or less.
Okay, because I'm not going to turn around and frisk you unless I have to.
You are more than welcome to do so, but I assure you there are no weapons.
Besides what you bring with you, huh?
Well, that goes without saying.
He's in good spirits, though. So lively talk.
Has anything happened for him recently?
Not happened to him. For him, maybe. The clan might be cleaning their shit up. Neely informed him earlier about some shit. I'm not quite sure. I didn't listen to the whole conversation, but Neely actually walked in here and walked out unscathed. Many people are talking.
With the Toreador having a good time with that?
Oh.
Is he alone tonight?
He is. Let's just put you this way. The Toreador. She's walking with you and starting to walk you up the stairs towards his office. Have you talked to your friend Bastion lately?
No. Should I have?
Yeah, oh, you wouldn't have been able to. He's been here for the past 3 nights.
Somehow I get the feeling that is not his usual MO.
Oh, God. No. It's been because of Annabelle. They're right now in her office.
Has it?
Him and his wayward child, the one that was looking for him.
You know what they're discussing?
Not particularly. I'm here with you.
Interesting.
I will say that little neonate that usually is like hip and hip with her is not here and has not been here for the past 3 nights.
And how has Annabelle been feeling, as far as you can tell?
Oh, I'll leave Jackson to tell you that one. All I have to say is, and she'll gently. She knows her strength, so she will gently pat Kajai on like just the back of the shoulder, going, all I have to do is thank you and 2 others for, shall I say, whipping her into shape.
Thank you for the information.
Hey, when one can turn around and say that they've downed several Sabbat places and Miss I'm just too pretty to do anything is being outdone by La Sombra, Venture, and Malkavian. Dude.
If it is enough.
Enough? You're making her work. Oh no, so sad, too bad.
For some, the fire will be the thing that tempers them into a blade, and for others, it will be the thing that reveals their impurities.
My guy, she's a rose. She'll burn.
I've seen some roses that can take care of themselves.
Okay, Bastion aside, which is a badass with fucking firearms. We all know this to be true. Do you honestly think that she can turn around and make any headway? If we were to throw her with your group, do you honestly think she'd survive? Fuck no.
People change. And we'll
Not like
need
that.
as many competent people as we can get, especially older ones.
Yeah, no, I wish you would go the way of Sun.
We'll see, I suppose, one way or the other.
You're not wrong. Well, he's waiting for you. Have a good time.
You as well. I have a feeling the nights are going to be very busy soon.
Dude, if you guys can keep the life going through here and making it not just a bore fest, I am living for this. Living.
Well, welcome to join us one of these nights.
Really? Seriously? Can I actually knock some skulls together?
Of course.
Bitch. Let me know the next fight. I will be there. I will have chainsaws. I will have bats. I will have the bazookas.
Stick with the melee weapons.
What's
seen
wrong
more
with the
than
bazookas?
enough. I've seen more than enough fledglings and neonates think that explosions are effective weapons.
For long range.
The last young kindred tend to underestimate just what range explosions have.
My guy, I was in World War II. I can tell you about ranges.
To each their own, though you will have to explain to him about other buildings that happen to find themselves not up to code.
Oh, that's easy. It's just the will of the skyscraper monologue. I'll figure that one out later.
Well, then it is your choice.
Or we just blame it on poor construction, and then whatever happened to Capone's territory, we'll blame it on that too.
I have to be careful. I imagine the mortals won't be ignorant forever.
We'll just ignorant enough.
Ignorant enough.
All right, have a good visit.
If you see Annabelle and Bastion while I'm busy, do let me know.
Sure. I'll put a page on that one. I don't want to be anywhere near her door. It smells too, what's the word for it? Decayed.
Careful not to offend too many of the roses.
Oh, I try not to. That's why they're not in earshot, and and you're the only one hearing me.
Have a good night.
You too. And she'll make sure the door is open and you're seeing Jackson right at his desk going through some maps. And when the door opens, he'll look up and stand up and go, "Hey, Kajai, how are you?"
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Come in. Sit down, please. Do you need anything? Are you good? Do you drink?
I'm all right. Has the crown settled on?
Well, I have a couple questions for you. Now, I know I realized this in hindsight as of last week, which I do apologize for, but I never really openly said to people that you were the Primogen of Lysambra. So I apologize for that, and I'm going to rectify that next week. Are you free for an open Elysium?
Of course. I'm free for whatever my prince needs.
Great. Well, I got some things for you. Well, things I'd like to work out with you.
Of course.
Feeding grounds. Do you guys have a particular place in Chicago you want? Possible areas for your own, kind of like, where do you guys all want to collectively sort of live? For the Camarilla descendancy, which I'm sure, of your line, I'm not worried about them coming here. It's the bot that wished to defect and join us. I had, ironically enough, my roommate in here earlier, Neely. I don't know if you met him or not.
I have.
Well, he was giving me ideas about things about the Lysambra of the Sabbat flavor. And there's very different ways of being apparently for your clan. What do you think they would have to give up to join? Kind of like a penance or atonement, or hey, this is the fee to join. I'm not sure how you want to phrase it.
Well, that would depend in part on the kind of domain you want to run. Some of our clan are inhuman, and that would make adjusting difficult, if not
True.
impossible. To keep things simple, you could demand a price in elder kindred. Of course, you would guarantee competent fighters, but you'd also be filling the city with warriors, and to be honest, most of the city isn't exactly... They haven't exactly seen war.
True. I could tell you a time in 93, but that wasn't exactly the best time.
Best times also make for some weaker people, as the mortals would say.
Got you.
Could also require a certain amount of service. City will need people, talented people, especially those capable of shoring up the various industries. Perhaps a few years or decades of work for the tower. Do some kindness. If I may ask, what do you want from the La Sombra?
Cooperation. Plain and simple. Look, your clan and my clan have been at wars for how many years? Not even years, centuries, millennia. But at the same time, if we're going to look to work together, which your particular line and us have worked together, now if we're bringing in the reformed Sabbat members to come in here, yes, I know that they've got to pay a price. I'm not a fool. But at the same time, as people have reminded me, I need to be fair and just, but strong. So in being a strong leader and being of the strong clan, Bruja are strong, but don't get me wrong. In a fight, I bet over you over the Bruja any day. I look at it from the standpoint of, this is your clan. These are your people. This is your family. I'm a venture. I can say whatever I want until, the sun comes up. You know your people best more so than I do. Right?
Indeed.
And you're their leader.
My suggestion would be to require a proof of loyalty. There are more than enough older Sabbat around. I would suggest proof of destruction for those kindred, especially those who are too inhumane or incapable to make the switch.
All right. How would you suggest I actually know? I know a couple of people who can do spirit's touch to confirm the kill. Would you want to be present for that?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone that comes in that claims kill, do you want it done privately or would you want it open in court?
In court.
Open?
In front of everyone.
Okie dokie. I want to make sure I don't want to make you all a spectacle. I want to honor and respect your clan. So I want to make sure you are comfortable with this because you are the voice of them.
I understand your hesitancy, and it is impressive ideologically, but you'll find I am much more pragmatic than some of the other kindred. We need people who will be able to take care of themselves. If they
Fair.
can't survive being in front of a few kindred in Chicago, then they won't survive being in a Camarilla. You cannot show weakness to my clan, whether they are newly embraced or the older ones.
I'm not trying to show weakness. I want to show respect, but I want to also make sure that they realize we're not being taken by fools. We are here. We are all bonded together, and we are all against a common foe. Because that foe may be the spy coming back, or maybe the hunters. Could be the 2-eye. Who the fuck knows? Hell, I'm lucky we brokered a whole thing with the werewolves and they're slowing down, stopping killing. Mainly, from what I've heard, they're hunting now down Sabat packs.
I've heard quite a few things about the lupines. Masterful work with that.
Thank you. Again, I knew I picked the right people to find the right things.
It did work.
Well, I want to make sure that I'm looking at it from the standpoint of, as Dr. Hammond would tell me, being wise, but also understanding the power that I sit on.
Doctor is wise indeed, but I would remind you the Bruja are a bit more idealistic than we are.
Tell me.
Respect is important, but fear is a nice replacement.
So have them fear me?
Of course.
Got it. Then I would like you to help me with finding a feeding place for you guys. A place where we can, shall we say, temporarily house. I'm not saying that I'm going to be giving housing for free, but temporary housing until they find a place. I already have a couple of bands of La Sombra coming in. We have them on the borders. I didn't want to.
Known to me.
No, not that I know of. But you know what? Give me this week to let me check, and I'll get you names. How's that?
All right.
I didn't want the influx coming in and without me talking to you and having something set, and then bringing this public so everyone knows. And once I decree it, it's going to be that way. I'll make sure that the sheriff, her hounds, the new scourge, all are aware of what is to take place.
It's good.
Would you like to be informed of every new arrival, or can we do this like a weekly meeting? How would you like to proceed on that one?
I don't need to know about the riffraff, but if anyone significant comes by, I would like to meet them first.
Significant in how? Title or generation?
Both. I'm not sure how familiar you are, but there are those of us especially that have abandoned our humanity to other forms of understanding.
The paths.
Indeed. It appears Loden was better for more than I'd given him credit for.
No, Loden didn't teach me that. I taught myself. There's certain things I had to make sure I knew. Lucen even, shall we say, tested me. and let's just say a lucent test, I'd rather go to an open grill and lay myself on it. That woman's tenacious, but I passed. So knowing the Sabbat, I had to know inside and out. Hence why I wanted to talk to you about this. And I don't take this as any light matter at all, because I know we'll have some, as they call them, shovelheads come in. I understand they're the riffraff, but at the same time, a Sabbat is a Sabbat. The thing is that we have to start and show everyone. Sure, we might take them in. We might bring you all into our fold. But you need to prove to us how loyal you're going to be to us and leave your past behind. And hold them accountable.
That we are in agreement.
All right. Can you do me the honor of telling me in what territory you guys would like to take? I will give you several blocks in a part of Chicago. We're working on the south side, apparently, because Naomi's taking control over that. Between you, Naomi, and Josephine, I swear to God, Critias already has made his place known, so I don't even have to worry about him. But you guys have made Annabelle look like the laughing stock of the Primogen pool right now. Hell, Elliot has even turned around and made sure that he is more active within the Nosferatu, and to move his ass is something.
Interesting. It looks like we are finally changing.
Well, if you moved Annabelle's butt, I mean, I haven't seen her flat ass here in like a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden she's here 3 days in a week. I'm being candid with you.
I understand. I assure you, she will not hear anything from me.
I appreciate that. As plus, if there's any Nosferatu, I'm expecting nothing to be said. Thank you. I always assume there's 3 Nosferatu in a room.
I've always wished to be able to see them more often, but not one of my gifts.
Well, let me know when you want that gift. I know several people who could, shall we say, help you with that. For a boon, of course, I'm sure.
Perhaps. To answer your question, if I recall, there are 2 lacking areas in the city. There, I believe the Giovanni have left their holdings abandoned. From
All
what
right.
I've heard, Capone is not exactly doing a good job of managing what is his.
Oh, you really want to take it to him, don't you?
It matters not, but for me, a good message needs to be sent, and I would like to compete with someone worth dealing with.
Yeah, well, you heard what Naomi did, didn't you?
No.
Bought off some of his areas and gave it to the Nos as a recompense for what happened to Lake Helmiot.
Smart.
She's on the hunt for him. She's getting close from what I've been told. I should have him within a couple of days. Taylor, Dr. Him, go ahead.
Will your clan be dealing with the problem themselves?
That's up to my Primogen. As Dr. Hammond reminded me last week, talk to my women and heed what they say. Naomi is tenacious, and I listened to her when she said, I have this problem and I will have a situation completed within the next 2 weeks. I'm not going up against Miss Stewart, would you?
She is impressive.
That's an understatement, but yes.
Have you decided what you're going to do about the convocation you wanted to throw?
I will be in a bit. I think that the Capone situation is coming to a head. I need to deal with that. And apparently, a thing with people being washed up on East Chicago because of some thing that happened in Gary. I need to handle as well. I have that on the bulletin board of things I will develop. Let's handle a couple situations we have to handle now.
You want us to look into this issue with Gary?
It's Maxwell, probably. Fucking asshole. Can't he just die already?
He's old.
And decrepit. But then again, he's old. What does that say about Critias? Critias is older, and he has his shit together more so than Maxwell. And they're both Bruja.
Critias is different. The Greek Bruja were... No, I don't know if it's accurate to call them a different bloodline entirely, but they are different.
I mean, granted, yes, and I know Maxwell's not exactly from the Greek bloodline, but get a fucking clue. Is that too hard to ask?
It's reckless, especially to do the things he been considering, but it's a shame to waste potent vitae.
Fair, I'm sure if I was to let a certain group of people after him, he might go the way of Sun. Not that I know that anything happened to Sun, more so than he walked off into the sunset.
Of course.
Naturally.
People learn eventually.
Sure, when they become ash.
Some would say death is the final opportunity, the final educator.
You're not wrong. I believe one song said, life is a lesson, you learn it when you're through.
And he has learned quite a bit.
Pity he can't turn around and apply it. So sad, too bad. At least Josephine is making up for all of his faults.
I have heard so. Do you intend to have a meeting with your council anytime soon?
I'm looking at a meeting probably in the middle of next week, which I'm sure you'll be more than happy to attend. We might actually get Annabelle not exactly strolling in at, 2 minutes to the end of the meeting this time, which thank you to the three of you for moving her. I think Jane Fonda will be slightly, upset that she's, doing far more work than she did in all of her fitness videos.
What have you heard about the mortals, the hunters?
Well, I was relying on Weatherbottom for that. He seems to have been underneath some impression he shouldn't keep an eye on them any longer. It's no hidden secret that we all knew that he was turning around and sending people there. And, well, I wasn't exactly for it, but then again, I did not have the authority at the time to do and call him out on it. I called him out on it. So Weatherbottom is not exactly happy, nor has he been around to, shall we say, update. Unless you know somebody that can watch and not exactly tell and be quiet, I'm all ears. Do you got any suggestions?
I'll reach out to some people.
Cool.
I must admit, it wasn't until recently that some of the humans showed me the more modern applications of technology, and worry if we aren't ready, the real war will be against humanity.
That's fair. Well, I leave several ideas in your doorstep, and I look forward to meeting with you on, I'd say about Wednesday, if that's good with you.
Of course.
I'll have the rest of the Primogen give you a proper welcome, and if Annabelle doesn't toe the line, I'm going to yank her thorns out one by one, happily with pliers.
I look forward to seeing the storm of change.
Well, I'm not trying to be too much of a storm. You know how the older ones hate changing. Slow progression works.
I
Hey,
have a
it
feeling
took,
they won't get a choice.
this is true. It took 3 of you to move Annabella's ass. I can only imagine what you're going to move next.
We'll have things to talk about next time. I have a feeling.
Agreed. And he'll stand up and he'll extend his hand to you. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Always a pleasure. He will shake his hand.
And Jackson will walk you out of the office. And with that, we're going to go to break.
All right, we'll be back in 10, everyone. Once I can find my cursor.
Hi, welcome everyone. We just had a rather interesting first half because information, people telling things, and Jackson trying to get ahead on La Sombra. As all of this is going on, we have 2 lovely individuals that are making their. Don't shake your head at me, Spotter. I will describe you as I wish to describe you, neener. I did say lovely, and I'm referring to also you and Theodore. Wow. Take the compliment, my guy. And we have Spotter and Theodore going down with somebody holding a body bag. Who's holding the body bag?
Oh, it is definitely Spotter.
It's definitely Spotter.
And would you like to describe where you're going?
Sure. I put a couple pictures in the chat for reference. We are at, if you don't know already, the Merchandise Mart, which is, at its time when it was built, the largest building in the world. Not the tallest, the largest. Spotter likes to talk about the city, so it's a little exposition from him. The building is just under 2 blocks big. It is massive. It's mostly housing and apartments, condos probably now. What is it? It's a mall. It's shopping, all that stuff, restaurants. It's a big thing. But what a lot of people don't know or just don't think about, because why would they think about it? There used to be an entire section of the trains that ran through Chicago that ran under the Merchandise Mart, because they would just bring in all the goods, and they would get the goods and all the way up into the different floors to the different stores. And we are heading in a side entrance because Spotter may or may not have expected to be bringing a body. Normally, we would just go in the front entrance. But the thing is, when we get inside, no one pays attention to us. There's not a crowd. There's probably some janitors, probably some security. But considering where we are and where we're going, they expect the occasional odd person late at night to come in. We head to a service entrance, employees only sort of thing, and he'll stop at the door and he'll turn to Dr. Smith. You aren't claustrophobic, are you?
No.
That's a good answer. Opens the door. It's basically an old utility room. There's janitor stuff, electrical boxes. It's just what you might expect a utility room to be. And takes you over to an elevator, and the elevator brings you down to an old, the first level of the old infrastructure where the big trains came in. And it's not in terrible shape. It was the closest to the surface. And actually, if you're looking at the picture of the building, it's where those arches were at the bottom, right underneath the main level. But there's nothing here. I mean, there are Nosferatu here. But they don't pay you any mind because you have company. And we head over to another entrance. That entrance brings us down to the question why he asked you if you were claustrophobic. The tunnels farther down aren't as maintained, aren't as roomy as you might expect. And they also kind of look like that over and over and over again. The same junctions, the same line of tracks, the same architecture. You might imagine it's pretty easy to get lost down there, which again is why you needed company. You do start to see Nos not running around, but doing their thing, going about their business. Junie, would he see, like, if I'm bringing him where I'm bringing him, would he see any technology, or would we have hidden that off the main path?
Most of those would be actually up into where the crevices are, where the lighting used to be. If the lighting is still there, there's the old wires. As technology has grown and whatnot, you have utilized those same kind of tubes, the wired tubing, to keep the wires from not getting completely eroded from the elements, but also, God forbid, this floods again, at least they're encased. You will notice, though, some of it is a mixture of metal and of more of like a PVC, because again, some things erode faster than others, and some can construct it right. And some things can handle water far better than other material. So you could see where there's a little bit of patchwork and a little bit of things being improved, but you really can't see it all just sticking out. It's more it's as hidden as it can be to keep the prosperity, the look.
Exactly. So the section we're heading to, it's really cool. He gets you there. It's like you swear you've been past the same place twice, 3 times, 4 times.
Not even bothering to remember the route, honestly.
Right.
There's no fucking point. This isn't my territory.
No, it's this way for a reason. Yes. And eventually we get to what is affectionately called the labyrinth. It looks like, just if you could see if it was a trailer park, but with old train cars all set up, and it's a junction of where not all, but a lot of the tracks came together, and there's some train cars, there's train cars on top of train cars, and there's just Nos hanging out, and this is their place. They're very comfortable. And I will take him over to where Lydia is living.
Lydia's area, or like her little living home, you can see that she is not presently within that car, but you will hear people asking, or Nosferatu or two asking, "Hey, who are you looking for? Are you looking for the seer?" And when you do say that, they will gently point you to a direction where the freight cars have slowly stacked up, but almost blended into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And as you walk in, it takes a turn to show an architecture that is different than what you thought. Mm. It's a mixture of, and I'm putting this into Hidden City. You will see what looks like a dark Arcadian formed library. And at the end of it has multicolored scars, almost like a tent within it. You will see that there are dead things. You will see skeletons. You will see old bug collections and so on and so forth. It's a mixture of, not only this festive look, but of the macabre as well. And at the end of this, sitting up in almost like a throne-like area, because she's sitting and reading, and you don't know what she's reading, because as you look, her eyes are closed, and you will see Lydia sitting there with a row of candles by her as she's just sitting there reading, and her hands are just going across the page.
Theo's gonna first very slowly and quietly sort of like look at Spotter and give an awkward.
I will take a few steps forward. I will put the offering down. Yeah. Say,
Hello, good evening.
hello, Lydia.
Hello?
New voice. Who is this?
Dr. Theodore Smith.
Medical?
Indeed.
There's a smell about you. Mixture of medical and old books.
I'm at least glad to see that some things are very accurate.
Dry sense of humor. I'm assuming you're from my family.
Indeed. So
And that's
dry
Spotter, isn't
we
it?
creak.
You creak. I could hear you walking down the stairs. So, Spotter, you brought Dr. I'm
Smith.
sorry, Theodore Smith, yes? Yeah, I'm sure you're nodding. As you can see,
Oh,
the
yes.
eyes do not
Sorry.
work.
My apologies.
Even the embrace did not fix the eyes. So you will have to verbally tell me things, yes?
Yes.
I would appreciate that. So I sense you have brought me a gift.
Yes, Lydia.
I was told it's customary. I was told it's customary to provide nourishment of some kind or another.
Yeah, I take all. I am not picky.
I should say, careful when you feed. The Ativan may make you sluggish if you're not careful.
Oh, I like to have them alive. How you bring them down is your own affair.
Very well. Then
I'll wait until he wakes up. But I appreciate the warning.
he is off to the side of the room. We didn't want to set him in the middle.
Oh, that's fine.
No need for any of us to trip over him.
He's just dead weight right now.
Literally.
I know, right? So, pray tell, what have you come down to see Lydia for?
I find myself at a crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
Far more than 4 directions to choose from.
Hardly a crossroads then.
True. More of a
6
clearing
corners.
with many roads. But I find that no matter what direction I will end up taking, a little bit of prep can often be useful.
Prep, you say? Since you brought the, shall we say, leader of the Nosferatu down here.
Huh? Oh, the prince thing was a joke.
What prince thing?
Oh, never mind.
You
Theo
are
just
aware.
starts humming Purple Rain.
I'm aware of Prince, but I don't think he's that kind of prince.
No, he's not. The song was stuck in my head. Oh well.
Yeah, okay, dry humor, but at least you're up with the pop culture. I'm surprised.
Those who do not adapt history are doomed to be left behind.
Oh, good. Next time, then you can start laughing too. I'd like to hear your musical laughter around the echoing of this chamber.
I've heard
Yes.
people say my laugh makes them uncomfortable.
Well, that's because I hear you are made of steel. You must pull that away from you.
God, I hate that the rumors even get down
Others
here.
unabashedly laughing.
Oh, and here the leader of the Nosferatu is laughing, yet he doesn't acknowledge he's a leader. I see how this goes.
But no, prep, and in this sense, Chicago is something that seems to have an ebb and flow to it.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I feel we're in flow, given who is now Prince and how that establishment was set up.
Interesting choices you all made.
I feel that we are at the state of flow where it is about to ebb once again. So,
Chicago is a lady that likes to dance and weave among people. How is she weaving around you?
and I suppose that is what I would like to ask you to look at for me. What's next for the kindred and city of Chicago?
Oh, you're not asking for yourself, huh?
Oh, no. I will come up with my own plans.
You might as well ask me how the moon and the stars will wrap around each other.
Any tidbit is useful.
The question is just, how have you been to Chicago? Have you been a gentleman? Have you courted her? Have you been about her in a way that would provide as well as protect? Or have you been a man who has just come to sit upon your roost, to claim what you think is yours and not give her any moment or second thought?
I'd like to think I'm the former.
And what have you done to woo her?
Nothing, because that's not my goal.
Dan, you're not being a gentleman. Have you ever courted a woman?
No.
Oh, well, that explains everything. She will slowly stand up. And oddly enough, she makes her way to you as if she knew where you were.
It's
And she
her
will
space.
just
I'm
go
sure
like
she's
this.
fully aware of everything around it.
Give me your hand.
Place my hand in, the one not holding the doctor's bag.
She'll go, you can put the bag down. I promise you will not go anywhere for a moment.
Sets it down.
And she'll run her fingers, and her fingers are a mixture of coarse. She's done hard work in her life, yet soft. She's not putting pressure on your skin. You can feel that she's had a heavy and long road, and that she's had many a paper cut, and she's done many things with her hands, but yet they're gentle and tender. And she'll slowly run a nail up and down, and the nail, even though it looks broken and slightly jagged, it's smooth. It's a lot of contradiction right there, just in the touch and the way she holds your hand. And she'll smile and then slowly let your hand go. Theodore, you are a man that has never had life in it. You have never connected with people to a standing point of Chicago is a woman that wants to know that she is cared for and taken care of and loved and cherished, and yet to help provide as well as you help back. Have you ever danced before?
A handful of times. I
And
wouldn't
how did
say
you
I'm
treat
practiced.
your partner? No, practice is nothing. How did you handle your partner? With gentle care? Or did you turn around and handle things harshly as if it was a dance step and that you had to complete it as a task?
I won't say I had fun with it. Everything felt
Why not?
stiff and I was uncoordinated.
Why?
I had never danced before.
Is that how you feel life is? Is just discoordinated tasks and feeling uncomfortable?
Life is what we can grasp onto and not let go. What that is different to different people.
The control of it all. She walks over to where her bed is and plucks a silk scarf and walks back over to you and offers it. Of course, it's a raw silk, but yet it flows as if it's a liquid. It's of a bright color, yet in this dark with the candles, it has a duller, almost jeweled shape to it, jewel color to it. And she'll go, you see how this moves and flows. It would give you comfort and protection, but at the same time, it gives you a bit of joy in the sense that you are giving yourself a bit of life. To know Chicago's future is like to know a woman. Careful and gentle and soft, wanting to be a partner of, but yet at the same time a fierce warrior that will stand up and protect her own.
And if you don't, she will bury you.
Says the seer and knower of all Chicago. I know his line.
She's a lovely lady.
She is indeed. She has kept me safe and protected all these years. And I have never once questioned. I've always given and I've always received. Life is more than just transactional in exchanges, Dr. Smith. It is a relationship you need to woo and handle. And if you cannot woo and handle a great lady of Chicago, then your tasks will be even harder, because to woo Chicago is to woo the people in it, to care for the people, to be of the people. And if you've never begun to experience what it is to belong to people, then how do you know what will happen if we are in the middle of an ebb and flow? Are you sure it's an ebb or is it a flow?
I suppose I was using those terms in a positive, negative sort of metaphor.
Agreed. I understand what you meant, but I'm actually going in more of a push and pull. You are pushing for information and not pulling enough on the threads to understand it yourself. You are in a crossroads, but those crossroads are of your own making, because you have not danced. You have not lived, you have not breathed life to hold a relationship of people and only have been about business and transaction. I will say sometimes the event through are very much like this, but you are Tremere. You should be of magic, shouldn't you? But the magic ebbs and flows, yes?
It does.
Like blood. And as you, shall we say, she'll gesture to the body, and as I will eventually have an ebb and flow, is that all it is? Or am I taking life when you have given me life? To think in a way, what year were you last alive? I don't know what exact date, but give me a roundabout idea.
Been some time since I've thought of that.
I'm sure. I'll teach you a very quick lesson.
The last year that I was alive and a human being was 1848.
Oh, that was a year.
Wasn't it, though?
1848. You know what? I know of idea. She will turn and go into one of what looks like those long areas of books, and she'll pull out a sheet of music. It's a record. And she will start to play at what looks like an old phonograph, one of the popular songs of when you were last alive. And she will start to slowly dance to it in one of the popular dances of that era, as if it's just in tune to her. And she'll say, "You see this dance? I do it normally, as it is natural, like breath. You are too stern with yourself. You hold yourself to too much regiment. You do not give yourself enough sway and movement. If you were to look at a spotter over here, he is natural. He is flowing. He can do many things just by moving himself around, like he is moving with the flow of the river and a flow of the lake. You are standing very, very still, as if controlled, and you must not move. How?
I give him a nudge and a nod.
How do you move in the world of Chicago when you are too much of a mountain? Even mountains need to kneel. And she will walk over to Theodore and offer her hands to him as if to ask him to dance.
There's a Spotter definitely notices there's an awkward hesitation in what Theo's being offered, and he at the same time it's clear does not know what to do with the silk scarf that she has handed him while she is offering this. And then very stiffly, still holding the scarf because he doesn't know what the fuck to do with it, he will help set up and take stance for the dancing. But I'll warn you now, Junie, 2 dots of dexterity, and that's the pool.
Oh no, I'm not going to have you run. I'm not going to have you roll.
She's dancing with a mannequin, and a mannequin would probably be less stiff.
You think that. But as she puts her arms onto your shoulder and holds your hand, she leads. She doesn't let you lead. She leads. And I know that he probably is following clunky, but it's in the middle of the song. It's in the middle of the moment. You realize you are starting to flow with her, almost as if she has moved and melded herself to the way that you're walking, and that it's a spiral movement. Spotter, you would know this as a waltz. A Vienna waltz. There is a difference between waltzes. And she moves in this constant circle around and around. Her skirts are flaring up around her, and it's moving like you are walking with water. You are flowing with a river. And when she slowly stops and she has you actually sit down in a seat, you feel the wind still spinning around you for a moment, as if you're still caught up in the dance and the music is moving with you. But she has found herself sitting back down, and you are holding that scarf as if it's something gentle and tender now. And she'll go, "Do you understand now?"
If nothing else, it seems like a pretty succinct first step.
Spotter, what do you think?
I think we can teach him.
Should I leave him into your hands? O great leader of the Nosferatu.
Ah, well, as my first act as leader of the Nosferatu, I will gladly accept this responsibility.
You have to. You accepted the other gift that our stone friends gave us, did you not?
Oh, geez.
She says stone friends, and Theo's shoulders raised for just a second, and then they drop it.
Oh, you don't think that I didn't know Laura had paid you all a visit? It's in your hand, Dr. Smith. It is in your past and your future.
Everything I was educated on the gargoyles told me to never interact with them, for to do so would be my end.
Did you die?
I expected to.
Did you die is my question.
No.
Then, is anything possible? Of course. Will you be able to make things possible You're Tremere. If you can make things possible, then why is the blood sorcery within you? You have, and I'm going to be very gentle with this analogy. You are locked in here. Your prison is here. It is not being dead or undead or whatever they wish to call us. You need to break free here. How do you think I can tell everything about you just by the smell of who you are? I don't even have to taste your blood. The sorcery calls to me through you. But you are so hard at control. And you keeping yourself in this box. You are Tremere, you are kindred. You have no box. Why do you keep yourself locked up there?
Or not,
Potter.
though.
You are, though. If I was to tell... Oh, says the man who doesn't know what to do with a silk scarf after a woman gives it to him.
Genuinely, I don't. But we're
Why
not
don't you?
kindred, Lydia.
We are now, aren't we? We are not of the first mages. We all died. We were all embraced just like the other of our brethren, were we not? We are kindred.
We were, but our origins do not stem from that.
That doesn't matter. What matters is we have accepted. We have accepted this curse. We accepted what we are. Are you to tell me that Spotter is no different than us?
He is different than us.
Besides clan, he has the same blood running through him. Do you not remember the lessons of the Tremere who had eaten salat to get this power?
I remember the lessons. I just feel that we may have taken different lessons from them.
Indeed. The question is that who's coming to who for advice?
I'll think on it.
Don't think on it. Don't even bat an eyelash. Live. Learn. Spotter hasn't said anything mostly except for a couple of words. And yet I am sure he is nodding and agreeing with me, though I cannot see him do it.
No, it's he barks a laugh. No, it's the thing you got to realize about Chicago's Dr. Smith. You just throw the rule book out. It's very simple. Make your own rules. Everyone else does. I know it's completely flies in the face of everything you do. Like she said, you're very controlled. But maybe it's time to do your own thing. I mean, what did you ask of Kevin?
I guess in a way I didn't ask Kevin for anything more than stability within my clan.
Right.
But
although I'll admit I highballed what I wanted a bit.
What do you want? The stability in the clan means nothing compared to what Dr. Theodore Smith wants.
Right.
I have an idea, but I'd need to speak to several people in order to get it off the ground properly.
Look, I can have a concept of a plan, but it doesn't make it the plan, now does it?
I guess I just have to start executing then.
She walks over.
There we go.
And gently puts her hand on his shoulder going, Theodore, have you ever thought of yourself? Have you ever thought of you? What do you want?
Right.
I could ask Potter all day of what he wants and what he wishes.
Right.
And he can tell me 4,000 different things. Some things will come to pass, some things won't. I could ask your friend Kajai what he wants besides blood, mayhem, and murder. I could ask Dr. Hammond Taylor what she wants besides, peace, and probably something else that I will not be able to say. But at the same time, I could ask Dr. Magnus Sanchez what he wants. And I'm sure he wants the same thing as everyone else. But Theodore, for the love of all of the existence that we have been gotten, what do you want? Because all I'm hearing is the clan and not you.
Right.
And Theo keeps opening his mouth and not saying anything.
Ah, now we found it.
Just think on it. We're not expecting changes tonight.
I believe there is a song somewhere in the future. What is the line will be, you are in a cage and I hold a key. Will you take it to make you free?
Except you own the cage and you own the key.
When the pyramid fell, how did you feel? Was there anyone to tell you what to do or tell you what to think or say or feel? No. It was gone, wasn't it?
It's better this way.
Is it? Because you're not making any use of it. You are free, my friend. Freer than you have ever been, and yet you still choose the cage instead of walking in, shall we say, the proverbial sunlight.
Right.
Moonlight, okay.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
give me a look.
Theo's not saying shit on that comment. He's like, I'm not mentioning shit about what I can do now. Nope.
She already knows.
Valid.
She probably already knows, but I'm not saying that out loud because that might just confirm it.
You have to take your time, make the first step, but you have to open up here. I can tell you everything that is going to happen in the next 10 years in Chicago, but is it going to make any difference to the choices that you make for yourself? No. I can tell you what's going to happen in the clan in the next 10 years. Is that going to make any difference on what you do? No. I could tell you the circle and the things that Chicago is telling me about you, but will it make any difference? No. Because you're too locked up in here to set yourself free. And she will just gently poke where his third eye would be and say, open. Because the moment you open that is when everything opens up for you. Listen to his father. Even though he doesn't not say much, he says things poignantly. He says with meaning. And the reason why he says things is because he knows Chicago. He sees her in a way that is to be respected, cherished, and protected. He gives and takes. He and her do a beautiful dance. Though he doesn't realize it.
She talks.
She talks, but you are a silent partner. You don't talk back much. She wants to hear more from you. Hence why I say you are the leader of the Nosferatu. You're the one making the calls and the shots, are you not?
It's true. Maybe I'll take her for a dance one of these nights.
I'm sure she'd like it. Maybe Pierre usually is a good place to do that.
Okay.
Aragon Ballroom. Like Dr. Smith here. I think he needs a spin on the dance floor.
He does.
Theo's not showing it, but there is now internal screaming.
He doesn't have to show it. She can hear it. And she just smiles. This very almost Cheshire cat grin. Oh, come on, Dr. Smith. I am sure that there would be a woman who would love to put you all around the dance floor as if you are meant for it. You don't even have to be romantically involved. Friends work just as well.
Dancing's dancing.
'Tis. You didn't promise to marry another yet? Probably not, but at the same time, open yourself up to the possibilities. And she will actually walk to the bag and say, what is in your bag?
Supplies.
For what?
Rituals.
Rituals are you doing one here?
No, but in case I should need to, it's good to have the materials with you. Is it not?
Why in a bag? Why not in a backpack? Why are we not moving into modern times?
Because
You
with
are
a,
not
with a
Go
backpack,
on.
I'm unaware of it. If I have
Why
a
you-
bag, I can see it. I can see who is accessing it. I
But
can
if you
keep
have
it
a
in front of me.
control. If I was now to turn around and give you a kiss, would you be able to stop me? You couldn't control that. The only thing you control is your reaction, correct? Not that I will do that without your consent, but at the same time.
Spotter consents.
You need to let go. Have a backpack, and I think you would have the conscious awareness of holding on to one of these straps so that you feel the backpack on you.
Maybe you can get a nurse.
I have heard of those. Are those actually still used?
I have no idea. It's not exactly trendy.
That is not what Bells tells me.
Oh, now that I'm the leader, I should have people to do that for me.
I thought Bells was actually wearing a new wardrobe. Or is that the surprise birthday present I shouldn't have told you?
Yes.
Guess what?
I doubt
Surprise.
Twitch chat will know this if it hasn't been posted there, but in our Zoom chat, someone also made the joke of fanny pack, and I just need to bring attention to that. Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Kajai.
No,
I think you really, you know what? Spotter.
Mhm.
Do you think he needs a makeover?
Oh God, he lost his tie a couple of weeks ago, and he nearly lost his mind. I don't know if we're ready for that.
I think he needs a makeover. He lost his tie.
If Lydia thought she heard internal screaming before. This is
Don't worry, I promise. Banded collars first. Get rid of this so you don't have to wear a tie.
You know what? We'll take baby steps. I'll bring Bells over. She can take a look.
Have your Rose friend too.
Yeah, now it's gone from screaming to active, like chanting in his head of ways to put up wards. He doesn't know what else to do. He needs to protect himself from this horse shit.
Ward against fashion.
Yes, ward against fashion. I need that. I need it. I'll develop the sorcery. God damn it.
Oh, it's rank 6. Sorry, buddy.
Arotrex, help me.
No.
Oh, it's so like him to say that, fucker.
Look, I think of it this way. Oh, yes, we do baby steps. Oh, you know what? I have heard that there is a massive party coming soon. I read somebody earlier.
The convention.
No, not a convention. Next week.
Oh,
Be something big.
the Elysium.
Dr. Smith, I'd like you to wear a very nice suit. What? No tie, banded color, and you have to have one dance. Any lady of your choosing. But you have to ask them. If you do this assignment and you do it to my specifications, I will allow you a free visit down here without bringing anything.
Theo's eyes definitely just basically cut to Spotter on that one. Like anything?
Nope. You're on your own, buddy. I'll help.
I would love the leader of the Nosferatu to come back and visit me. It is an honor.
It's
You just
always a
need to
trip.
bring this. Yes, you will just need to bring this werewolf soul to you.
I'll accept that deal.
You need to do a Vienna waltz. I'm sure you know how to do that. We just did one.
Anyone knows how to do it? It's probably Taylor.
Dr. Taylor can teach him, of course. I'm sure she's capable of that. But I think Dr. Leo needs to, or Theodore needs to turn around and they do someone else to actually dance. Because I'm sure that there are several ladies that he has not known that to have her eyes on him.
Oh, I specifically can't know them?
Why tell everyone else's secrets when I've just exposed most of yours? And you trust Butter to keep yours, yes?
I knew there'd be no secrets down here. You don't go to a prophet expecting someone to have lack of knowledge.
There. But you two have a good brotherhood building up between you two, so why not? Extend that trust a little bit further.
Is there anything else that you wanted to say?
There's only one thing. Your crossroads will lead you into a path of self-exploring. But I expect you'll be led there by your friends or those that you are joined with. For the city, she will ebb and flow. You all play a part in her. You will be another force to move the waters of the Chicago River. But my thing for you, Theo, is by the end of this road, you will understand yourself more so than you have ever done before. But I'll say this one more thing. When you go out to hunt the man in Gary, build friends. You and your family will not be able to do this alone. You need people with you. And that means, she will gently pat again Theo's shoulder, you need to be yourself. And be open. That's something you want to do here, I know. But I'd rather be honest with you. My dear, it seemed clanmate.
For a quick second, Theo's just gonna stare at the silk. He hasn't put it down. He hasn't put it in the bag. Nothing. He just sort of. It almost seems like he's confused by it.
She puts her hand on your hand that's holding the silk and say, keep it. When you realize how to treat the piece of silk, you'll know it's time to see me again.
Have a good rest of your evening.
Oh, you brought me dinner. Of course I will.
You'll hear me.
Remember. Oh, I will once he wakes up. But this Butter, watch over him.
Of course.
He needs it.
Watch over my family.
Of course. And then tell your little lady that she is always welcome here if she needs to find herself in dire straits. The abomination will not come here. I've saw to it.
That's an interesting trick.
When you know people that shift and change and need places to hide, you get up quite, shall we say, reputation. Cats are one of my favorite animals.
Actually, that's
And alligators.
Hey, storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
I have sensed the unseen. Can I do a quick check around? Because I know there's gonna be magic. She's a fucking Tremere, but I'm more looking to see like the structure of her magic, like how she sets this sort of shit up, because I have a feeling it will be different from how I would do it. I'm also starting to have theories that she may be House Karna, but I can't prove it.
Valid. You know what? I'm going to have you roll this one because I want to see just
Sounds
how well
good.
you're going to look at. I do apologize. This might take a little bit longer than normal, but people don't get to see Lydia very often.
No. Actually, it's probably a fair question now that you brought up the abomination. I'm not going to ask you directly. Where can I find out what Maxwell has on the abomination?
Power.
Hmm.
Control. A bond.
Oh,
After he was made, let's say the owner was destroyed for reasons.
interesting.
One needs a bodyguard, doesn't he? If you're going to stir up, shall we say, shit. Can't harm somebody that has something you desperately fear.
Yep.
In your roll of 2, you look around this room. Yeah, there are wards. There are things over here. This thing grows like a fucking Christmas tree. There might be the occasional Nosferatu, but right now it's clear because it's only you and Spotter. But from where she sits, you see it's more of a nest. And from that nest, the twigs and the ivy that kind of come from that magically kind of flow outwards. It's more of, I'm not going to use garden, but I'm going to use ivy, and it more of like comes through as the tentacles you could certainly see slowly claiming like this dark library. As it's falling and decaying, nature is turning around to claim it, but it's her spirit, it's her magical nature that is claiming it. The wards and everything that she has, you don't understand. She has a understanding of blood sorcery that you haven't seen before.
Does it almost seem like it's close to not being blood sorcery?
Mixture, but you're not sure. It looks very much blood sorcery, but at the same time, is it? Where's her rituals? Where's her alchemicals? Does she do alchemy? How does she do this? You don't see. All you see is the flowers. You see the books. And you see everything just flow as she moves around. That's why when you look at now with your eyes, you see that woven piece of fabric that she's given you. The threads sparkle with magic. As if she has woven her blood sorcery into the fabric itself.
Ethel's definitely not letting go of that silk now.
Almost like she gave it to you for a reason.
It's almost like it's double fascinating.
Thank you, Spock. And as she kind of moves back again, she'll go, do you have any other questions for me?
I don't know if you would necessarily be the appropriate person to ask this, but I'll ask anyways. Do you have any recommendations outside of my coterie? I already have plans for the stuff indoors. Outside of my coterie, who I could speak to about establishing a place of education? I had an idea.
Is it Glen-based or is it more Kindred-based?
Neither. And technically...
Education for what then?
Theo's just going to indicate anything related to blood sorcery to her. Like not using visual, obviously, but like saying that stuff over there on that shelf, that stuff, like just cluing her in magic. I want to set up something regarding our kind of magic.
Don't you already know Tracy Graves and Carolyn Davis?
It's always good to have other options in case there were some I was unaware of.
Well, you'd want me to break secrets now, wouldn't you, about other people that may and may not be part of our clan? I can't do that. Why don't you start with those that you know? Otherwise, the only other person I could possibly point you is a lovely lady that rides on the L reading books.
Hank?
No, I
Oh,
don't know
no.
much about Hank, but I don't think Hank is the read on the train type.
You
No,
know who I'm referring to.
I very much do. Yes.
Why don't you say it?
Her name's Penny.
Spotter, you remember it's the woman who gave Theo a hug.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the Melks rescued from Sun's really awful attempt at defending himself.
Maybe you go and see those that you know and have made friends with. I know more, but I think you should start with those three.
I suspected as much, but always good to ask.
Maybe Penny knows how to dance.
That would be a useful thing to learn.
Maybe she's the one you need to ask.
Thank you for your time.
Have a great night, gentlemen.
I think he's done with us, Lydia.
Oh, you couldn't tell from the dry sense of humor that he has dismissed me in my own home.
Or chuckles amicably.
Theo writes something in his notebook in his doctor's bag and then puts it back. If given that she can see things without seeing things, he just wrote "God damn it" and then put it back. Just didn't want to say it.
He'll just smile and go, I don't think it's God you need to them.
Hmm.
You have a lovely night, Dr. Smith.
You as well, Lydia.
Thank you,
Thank
Lydia.
you.
Lovely
May
as
the-
always.
May the food be decent at the very least.
Oh, I hope so. Otherwise, I'll just come back to you for another meal.
Let me know how he keeps. I know where he came from, so hopefully nothing crosses over with him.
Fingers crossed. And as that scene dies down, I'm assuming Theo and Spotter will go right back up into the surface.
Yep.
And I believe as we are rolling out tonight, Magnus and Misty have left to go with their night. Mark has stayed back asking Taylor honest questions and not honest, interesting questions, but not something that needs to, he's not trying to be dismissive. He's not trying to insult.
No. And she's answering them. So.
And he looks at her and goes, this explains why you have always been very, I wouldn't say pro-women, but very proactive in the restoration of memory of women who have moved forward.
It's a personal passion project of mine. I was mistreated. And I did not wish that to happen to anyone else. I also had to exist as a man to do the things I was passionate about for a long time, because women were seen as less than.
I understand.
So that is not so much tied to my faith as it is tied to me.
But your faith
It's not
embraces
inherent.
it?
It isn't inherently feminist.
I didn't say that.
No, but I get what you're saying. Generally, we have almost universally a hatred of abusers.
Yeah, that I can understand.
And 9 times out of 10, the abusers are going to be a man over a woman.
Yeah, I would never argue with those statistics.
So it is not
seen
that it is necessarily, certainly there are some gardens that are militant misandrous, but I am not. And a lot of gardens are not. There are gardens with men in them.
That's valid.
So,
I mean, she's a mother to all instead of just to one.
right.
All right. I know I got to give this information to other people. But at the same time, I want to thank you and I appreciate you being open and honest with me on this. I'm sure it's not something you would want to speak about very often.
I don't really mind. I just find in certain company, it either has people running for the hills or they want to call me heretic.
Well, I'm not running and I'm not calling you a heretic, am I?
No, you're not.
What are you doing this week?
Packing up. Not this week, but likely sometime in the next 2 weeks, I'll be heading out to Prague.
You're leaving me here? You ruined me. I fought my way back to you, and yet you're gone? What?
There is a really good opportunity for my students at Charles University in Prague. I have to go and get things set up. I won't be there long term. I expect to be there no longer than a month, and then I'll be back.
This sounds sexist, but what else is in Prague? I'm not jealous. I'm concerned.
I get it. And he and I do have a past.
Respectfully, of course. Again, not jealous, concerned.
But he left me twice. He doesn't get a third time.
Any fool that does that the first time doesn't deserve a second.
Yes, well, that is true. But there certainly won't be a third.
I'm going to ask you this. Are you coming back?
Yes.
When you come back, will you let me know?
Absolutely.
Cool. I have a couple places I want to take you. If, of course, my lady, and he'll gently bow down to get her to smile for
and
a
she
moment,
just scoffs.
would allow me to escort her to such places.
Absolutely. But over the next week, I may have a free few moments.
May I come over?
Sure.
I appreciate that. I don't want to go without at least asking if I may have a hug, but at the same time, consent.
She actually walks up to him and she kisses him.
Oh, that's it. Fuck you. Wraps up, bends over, does this whole dip kiss thing. Sorry, you asked for it. You did it. And it's not a church kiss, but it's not a overly, oh God, triple X kiss. It is a respectful kiss.
Mm-hmm.
And he will bring you back up and say, well, that's a great way to go into the night with. What do you think?
I think so too. Have a good night.
I'll see you soon. You too. And he will head off. And as he heads off, we head off as well. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I appreciate you guys for staying just a little longer. Thank you to the cast. Thank you to the viewers. And the only thing I have to make sure and say is don't forget to shanky and give that woman a coffee. Please. Thank you. Now, Mama, take it away.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for tonight's episode of Vampire the Masquerade, Chicago Hidden City. And definitely join us on the Discord. That is where we all hang out. That's where this table got cast from. And we do have 2 open casting calls currently in our Discord server. One is for a 7th Sea miniseries that our amazing European GM, Dr. Tiss, is running in January. And then the other one is for a series of Delta Green run by Timberbrad from Windy City. playing Nicholas, and from Queen's Gambit, playing Nicholas again, the Hikata that got ashed that became a Wraith. So yeah, he's going to be running Delta Green in January. So if you would like to potentially play those games, you need to be on Discord to apply to the casting call. The Suffer Puppet himself. Brad is a Suffer Puppet. He
in
really
his storytelling debut.
Yeah. And if you would like to catch back episodes of this series or any other series that we have streamed, check out the YouTube channel links in chat right now. You can go to McStabber Studios YouTube channel to check out this story or a wide variety of World of Darkness games and other materials that we have run TTRPGs with over the course of the last 5 years. So we have a ton of content there. Enjoy. And of course, if you would like to see D&D 5e or Call of Cthulhu 7e, go to London Esoteric Society's YouTube. That is where Tiss stores her content. So please go join her there. The Call of Cthulhu game just wrapped its 100th session last week on Saturday, and it is now on hiatus because she's been running that game for 3 years. She needs a break. But definitely check out her channel and make sure you've subscribed to both. And if you are watching videos on those YouTube channels, like the videos and comment. That is a free way to support our studios and our storytellers, and basically it basically gets all of our videos higher ranked in the search ratings on YouTube because it shows the algorithm that there's engagement on these videos. So please do that. It costs nothing to do. Subscribing there costs nothing. Liking and commenting costs nothing, just a little tiny bit of time. And do that, please. If you would like to check out amazing friends that do things on their own channels that also stream with us here, their links are in chat right now. Go give those Twitch channels a follow. Yeah, give them a follow. Subscribe if you can afford to. Please give them some love from the McStabbers, one of which is Junie. What you got going on your channel, babe?
I strangle yarn because I don't look good in orange, and in the place that they would take me doesn't have Wi-Fi. But our mascots right now are not only the dumpster fire, but we now have trash fire because we are in the middle of a trash fire itself. I strangle yarn, I make things, I talk to people, and I try to connect people with other people because connections. However, I will be not on Ravenosis on Monday because that wrapped up, but I will be on Kajai's or re-rolls on Tuesday. What am I doing, Ree?
Let's see. You guys on Tuesday, you guys get to continue being mages. Right now, you owe a great debt to someone because you guys refused to read a book. So that was wise.
Was not me, but I'm going to take it.
It was wise. This is, once again, children, this is why you read, so you could avoid debts to very powerful mages. But I'm sure it'll be fine. You guys it'll work out. It'll work itself out.
And they just became somebody's bitch because they didn't want to read a book.
Stay in school, mages. I mean, kids.
I blame the youth Thanatos and I blame the Order of Ether. Thank you.
An Aetherite who refused to read a book?
Yeah.
Are they even
They're not really.
Are they even still an
They're
Aetherite?
an orphan pretending to be an
like
Aetherite.
when that gets out, they're going to get thrown out of the Sons of Ether or Society of Ether.
Well, it just means that mage has him over a barrel then.
Yeah.
Oh my
just
goodness. Like it's
goodness.
a book. Nice.
All right. And is that what you have going on your channel right now, Ree?
Yes, we are winding down for the holiday. So just one game.
Awesome. All right. And of course, Ravnos Archon is linked there for his Twitch channel. He runs TTRPGs. He just wrapped up a mini series he was doing, and I believe he's got one or two things one more thing he's planning to do over before the holidays. And then Mischievous Red, she twitches on Sundays when she has the spoons to do so. I know recently she was doing mini painting. Sometimes she plays video games. Go give her a follow on her channel. And of course, if you're on our Discord, you'll get notified when these folks go live on their channels. If you would like some merch, we do have a Zazzle store. That link is in chat right now. You can get some cool studio merch or Chronicle related merch for various games that we have run on our channel that were requested by viewers. So Check that out. Make sure you're signed in, though, because there is some merch there I had to rate as adult because it has swear words, like our Camp Wish a Motherfucker Would Camp Counselor shirt. It is an amazing shirt. I fucking love it. It is really cool. But you have to be signed in to even see it. It won't show up as a listing if you don't sign in and be age verified.
All the counselors are here. I'd like to point that out. Thank you.
And on the back, it says counselor. On the front, it's Camp Wish a Motherfucker Would. Yeah, it's really great. And if you would like to support the amazing players at this table, you can do so by showing us your biddies. Show you biddies. Yeah. Bits and donations are given to the cast of our shows. If you would like to support the channel itself, you can do so by subscribing here on Twitch. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you get 1 free subscription a month. You may consider giving that to us. Also, you can donate to our KoFi page, our KoFi page. You can buy Mama a coffee. Seasonal affective disorder's kicking my ass, y'all. I'm tired. I'm tired. Buy Mama a coffee. All right. So coming up over the next week, we have Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, Demon the Fallen. Yeah. You'll see me and Maddox in that. Yeah. It's LA. Things are just sus.
Y'all ever watch demons beat their head against a brick wall? That's what this whole chronicle feels like.
That's
right
what
now.
it really feels like. It's like, what the fuck?
I see that every Wednesday going, oh God.
And as Ravnos Archon said, it's really hard not being sus in a city that's full of sus. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Yeah. So join us Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, as our choir of fallen angels, demons, try to navigate this bullshit. And then, of course, Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, join Shanky, and Maddox will be in that. His crew of Wraiths, as they play their 3rd session of Queen's Gambit Wraith, and they wrap their Splat storyline. Last night, we wrapped the vampire one. There was a lone survivor. Let's see how many of these Wraiths make it out.
Hey, Wraiths, the Wraiths have it easy. We're already dead.
Right. Technically, there's no survivors.
But it can get worse. Okay.
Don't remind us. We'll figure that out later.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Nobody's going to get
and
trapped
Callie
in
Salvo,
a horrible,
you are
bad place.
Yeah, Callie Salvo, you are absolutely right. These last 2 weeks have been tough with the early sunsets. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. But yeah, so that's on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Join the Wraith crew with Queen's Gambit as they wrap up their splat. And then, of course, Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be back here with the next session of Vampire the Masquerade, Chicago, Hidden City. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we have. Last but not least, please take care of yourselves, y'all. Please take care of yourselves. Seriously, had a discussion in Discord today, that it sometimes is rough when you got a lot going on. And it is. It is. Make sure you're taking time for yourself. Book that time if you have to. If you struggle to make time for yourself, put it on your fucking calendar. Book an appointment with yourself to just do something that recharges you. For real. Because you got to do it. Because if you don't recharge your own self, it is so hard to get anything else done for anyone else.
Work isn't going to do it for you.
Exactly. Exactly. So do take care of yourselves. And if right now you are struggling and you don't have anyone that you can reach out to for support, you really don't have the spoons to even do things for yourself right now, you are in active crisis, please look in chat right now. We do have numbers that you can call or text anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to get the support you need to get you off that edge with that crisis. Please reach out to them. And if you are not in the U.S. or you are watching on YouTube, please go to findahelpline.com. You can go to that website, pull up listings based on your location. They cover more than 140 countries. please go look for the support you need. We want you around for a long time. Please get the help you need. And also, Mama, I'm going to tell you, get your fucking vaccines while you can. For real. The people that's going to be, heading certain things under the new administration that's coming in next month, or no, 2 months, is literally talking about doing away with vaccines. Yeah. So get your vaccines while you can, because we're about to all be fucked if they're able to get that shit passed. And make sure that take your meds, drink your water, get some sunshine when you can. It's rough as fuck with the early sunsets. It's why this time of year fucks me up so hard. Yeah, but get some light when you can. And lastly, I'm going to tell you, if you voted third party, abstain from voting in the U.S. election and could vote, or you voted for Trump, fuck off. You aren't welcome here. I am openly hostile to you. Fuck off. I don't want you anywhere around. I am not here for your fucking entertainment. And I hope you reap everything you've sown. It just sucks that other people who didn't are going to have to suffer too. Good night, y'all.